There's a question we all ask ourselves at some point. Who am I really? What does it actually mean to understand yourself? It's probably one of the oldest questions there is. So today, we're going to go on a little journey, a trip through philosophy and psychology to check out some of the maps people have made to help us navigate this incredible inner world of ours. The great existentialist philosopher Soren Kierkegaard really zeroed in on this. He said, "Be the self which one truly is." I mean, that's a powerful statement, right? It sounds so simple, yet it's so profound. But what does that actually mean? How in the world do you find that true self? And maybe even more important, how do you know when you've actually found it? That's the big question, and that's exactly what we're going to try and unpack here. To get started, let's actually rewind the clock a bit. Turns out this whole quest for self-understanding is nothing new. The ancient Greeks were wrestling with these exact same big ideas thousands of years ago. Take the philosopher Aristotle. For him, the whole point of life wasn't just chasing happiness, it was something much, much deeper. He believed every single one of us is on a quest for what he called eudaimonia, basically a state of, well, human flourishing. Now, eudaimonia isn't just a good mood or a fleeting feeling. It's the whole package. It's a complete state of being. As you can see from all these different parts, it's about thriving in every area of your life, socially, emotionally, physically, you name it. Really, at its heart, it's about living a life that has virtue and a real sense of purpose. Okay, so if we're going to find this flourishing self, we kind of need a map of the territory we're exploring, right? And that territory is our own mind. A massive turning point came in the 17th century with René Descartes. He came up with this really radical idea of mind-body dualism. He said, look, the mind, the soul, is this immaterial thing totally separate from the physical mechanical body. And this was huge. This idea basically gave us permission to start studying the mind as its own unique thing. And that idea really paved the way for one of the most famous models of the mind ever, the iceberg. Let's start with the part we can all see, the very tip of that iceberg, the conscious mind. This is everything you're aware of right this second. My voice, the thoughts popping into your head, whatever you're focusing on. Right below the water's surface, you've got the subconscious mind. This is where all the stuff lives that you're not thinking about right now, but you could pull it up pretty easily if you wanted to. Like what you ate for breakfast or the name of your childhood street. But the deepest and by far the biggest part of this whole map is the unconscious mind. This is the hidden deep. This is where our fears, our irrational beliefs, our secret desires, all of it lives down there. And these are the really powerful forces that are often pulling the strings, driving our behavior without us even having a clue. And here you can see it in all its glory. Sigmund Freud's iconic iceberg model. Just look at that. That tiny little tip sticking out of the water is our conscious mind. But that massive hidden structure underneath, that's the unconscious, and it's what's really steering the ship. So here's the really crucial takeaway from all this. These models, they're just maps. They can give us a guide, a framework to think with, but they are not the territory itself. We still have to do the hard work of actually exploring our own unique lives. All right, so we've got a map. Now let's explore the forces that actually shape that territory, the internal and external forces that literally create our personal reality. This brings us to something fascinating called the Pygmalion effect. It shows how our reality can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Just follow the cycle here. Our beliefs about ourselves influence how we act. Those actions affect how other people see us and treat us, which then reinforces our original beliefs about ourselves. It's a really powerful loop. And this whole thing creates this constant push and pull inside of us, this tension between two different identities. On one side, you've got your perceived identity, who you think you are based on your past. And on the other, there's your ideal identity, that vision you have for your future, the person you're hoping to become. So let's make this personal for just a second. I want you to ask yourself this question and be honest. When everything gets quiet, when the phone's off and there are no distractions, where does your mind go? What do you think about? The answer to that can be a huge clue about what really, truly drives you. Okay, so we have a map of the mind. We have a better idea of the forces that are shaping us. So, now what? How do we actually find our way forward from here? How do we find our purpose? A really powerful answer came from psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl. He created a framework called logotherapy. And what he argued was that our primary drive in life isn't pleasure, it isn't power, it's the search for meaning.
He believed that having a sense of meaning is what can sustain us through, well, pretty much anything.
Now, if you want a more practical tool, you can look to this Japanese concept of ikigai. This diagram is brilliant. It shows you how to find your reason for being by finding the spot where four key things overlap: what you love to do, what you're good at, what the world actually needs, and what you can get paid for. And that little sweet spot right in the middle where everything comes together, that's your ikigai. It's your passion, your mission, your profession, and your vocation all rolled into one. It's quite literally your reason for getting up in the morning. So at the end of the day, whether we're talking about Aristotle's ethics, Freud's psychology, or the concept of ikigai, all these different perspectives are just tools. Think of them as different lenses we can use to get a clearer picture of life, of our core values, our philosophy, and our place in the world. Which, of course, brings us to the final and, without a doubt, the most important question on this whole journey of self-discovery. It's the one question that nobody else can answer for you. What will you do with this understanding?